Yo, what up, YouTube? Thank you so much for the support you guys have been showing on these past videos. It means a ton. If you guys have not already, go ahead and spam that subscription button at the bottom. It is free to you and it helps me a ton. And also, do not forget to like the video. Tonight's story is going to be about the time my wife and I had a run-in with Mexican pirates and my wife had a run-in with Mexican drugs. I hope you like the story, and I'll see you over there. All right, chat. Tonight's story, as you can see on the screen, is a story of Mexican pirates and drugs. So, most of you guys are wondering, why did you ever run into Mexican pirates and drugs? Well, let's flash back to the year my wife and I were married, and we took a little trip down to Cozumel, Mexico for our honeymoon. So let me give you a little drawing. My wife and I, for our honeymoon, went to a 5-star resort, which here is like a 4-star, but there was 5 stars. And it was all-inclusive. Guys, if you've not gone to an all-inclusive resort, do it. That is truly living life. You don't have to worry about budgeting while you're there. You don't have to worry about how much is dinner going to cost. Do we have enough for lunch? Should I have this third taco? It's all-inclusive, which means for you people that didn't pass 3rd grade, it means it's included. So you pay one price. So one thing that is not added, though, when the all-inclusive... So I guess the all-inclusive part is a complete lie, and I apologize for that. But there are parts that you can add on, which are called excursions. So my wife and I went on a couple excursions. There was one where we went snorkeling. There was another one where we went to a place called Tulum, and we went zip lining and snorkeling. And then the third of these excursions was just labeled dinner cruise pirate. Pirate dinner cruise is all it's labeled. Right? Okay, well, I wonder what a pirate dinner cruise is like. So we land in here, and one of our excursions is this dinner cruise on a pirate ship. And we're like, all right, I wonder what that's like. Sure, we're going to hang out with some Mexican pirates. Little did we know what an experience we were about to get into. And when we sign up for this excursion, there's not a lot of information of where we're supposed to go. They literally just tell us, like, a street corner in front of a restaurant. And so we're like, all right, this is kind of weird. So if this is the main road, this is a little back alley, and there's like just this random building right here. No joke. So Whit and I, we are right here, and we're like, what the frick? Like, what are we supposed to be doing? And so randomly, this little guy who, no joke, is maybe like, I want to say 5'3", 5'4", walks up in a felt pirate costume. Like, no joke, literally looks like cheap felt you can get at the Dollar Tree.
Mitch, did you tell the whole background story about how we met those people?
My wife's saying I'm not telling the story right. So, rewind a little bit. Okay. So, on an excursion...
You're gonna stop telling stories I'm involved in.
On an excursion prior, on a prior excursion, how do you draw? I guess I'm going to draw them as red because they were the definition of redneck. And you got Whit and myself right here. We're all waiting for a ferry. So you got us and you got rednecks. The rednecks tell us, we're talking about the excursions we signed up for, and they go, guys, we signed up for this pirate cruise. We thought it was just going to be a nice dinner. And no joke, this couple, the way they describe it, and guys, you don't know how redneck they are. The male of the relationship is wearing a neon orange camouflage like vest, and the back of the vest is literally just like fishnetting. It's literally just fishnet back. So you can see, like, he's literally probably getting sunburned in, like, squares because of this, like, fishnetting. And the front of it is neon orange. And he's got his Bass Pro Shop hat on. And he is just burnt to a crisp. Like, the definition of redneck. And these guys, straight out of, I'm pretty sure they're from, like, literally Alabama. And they're like, so we went up on this pirate ship. And let me tell you, it was not what we expected. And the wife goes, guys, like, I don't want to scare you, but, like, it's actually like real pirates. Like I was scared when we were on the ship. Like I was really worried about our safety. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what? You telling me that an excursion we booked at a 5-star hotel has real pirates? Sign me up! I want to meet some real pirates. And so they're like trying to like, warn us, like, oh my gosh, guys, like this is like, we were really actually worried that these guys are actual pirates. I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler. These people from Alabama were just experiencing a fit of implicit bias or racism. So that's what their information to us was. My wife and I are like, okay, well, like whatever. Like we're still going to go on this excursion. We paid for it. We're going to get our food at the very least. They made it out alive, so we'll be fine. All right, that is the background to approaching this excursion. We got the weird little back alley. We got the restaurant here. We got Wit and myself. We got short little man who approaches us in a felt. No joke, felt. I don't know if you guys went to Sunday school when you were little, but you know how you stuck the felt to the board and they showed you a little presentation? That's what this guy's costume was. And so instantly, my wife and I flash back to when the redneck, Mr. and Mrs. Redneck, tell us that they were worried for their safety because these pirates looked real. And so homie walks up in a felt costume and all I can do is just laugh. And all he says is, come. That's it. Doesn't say anything else. And then just proceeds to walk down this kind of weird alley. And so the moment he walks down this alley, I'm thinking to myself like, oh, maybe this is why they were scared. Like they just followed a small man into a back alley. And I'm like, okay, I mean, we paid for it, so might as well follow this guy. And there's just this random person and they say, okay, now wait here. And so my wife and I are thinking like, okay, well, over here's the ocean. We're now walking farther and farther and farther away from the ocean to go to a supposed pirate ship. Like, please tell me this isn't a scam and we're going to some restaurant called The Pirate Ship. We're sitting here for probably like 30 minutes and like, sorry guys, we're just waiting for the boat to get back. And the moment they say that, I'm like, okay, cool. We're actually on a boat. This is going to be great. So we wait here for about 30 minutes and then comes time to board the ship. And let me draw this out for you. This is the ship. I don't know ship lingo. I think this is what like a stern and like a bow and like the hold. I don't know if you guys have played any pirate games, but let me know if I'm completely wrong. You got the sails, little bird, store side, poop deck. Exactly. So the full 9 yards, we straight up get a Pirates of the Caribbean boat and they make us line up. So it's kind of weird. They literally get us in a full line and they go, all right, so does anyone like get sick? And my sweet, naive wife, right down here. So this first part isn't the before it's naive. They ask if anyone gets sick. She goes, yeah, I guess sometimes seasick. And no joke, this random guy, so we get one.
Works for the place.
He crosses this little deck. He comes from the boat. Man right here in full pirate garb. It's actually dope. He's got a gun in his hand. This man, the moment my wife says, I get kind of sick, reaches into his pocket, pulls out a random pill, and just hands it to my wife. And you know what happens? I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that my wife is going to take some random guy's pill out of his pocket here, right? Like, this isn't going to happen. She grabs the pill and without thinking just throws it back. Just literally like candy. Like, oh, thank you very much for this funny little blue pill. And if you hear about the funny little blue pill in Mexico, you normally don't want to throw that in your mouth. My wife straight yelled it right down the hatch. And I'm looking at her like, like literally just, what? I am shook. I am so like baffled by the fact that I just saw it happen, that she literally just like doesn't even give me a time to like warn her, like, hey, Whit, like, you know, we're in Mexico and you just took a random pillow from a guy's pocket and just like threw it back, like, right? You know, that just happened, correct? Like, this is a real thing that just took place between you and I'm just like, question marks. Like, okay, well, I guess this will be a funny story if my wife suddenly has some kind of crazy trip. And when I say crazy trip, I mean more than just a pirate ship trip. So I'm thinking, all right, what a great way to start. We got Feltman the pirate who walked us down an alley, and then we got my wife taking random drugs from people's pockets in Mexico. What a time to be alive. Woo! Happy honeymoon. I can't wait to spend the rest of my friggin' honeymoon with my wife just passed out in a bed and me just chilling on a hammock. And so we board the pirate ship. And so, like I said, guys, all we have prior knowledge is that this is a pirate ship and they're going to serve us dinner. And so we're thinking it's going to be something like medieval times. Like, who knows? Maybe there's going to be a funny little, like, pirate fight. They're going to fight with swords and we're going to eat a nice dinner and then we're going to sail along the mainland and then come right back. But let me tell you, were we in for a surprise? And we are on this boat, and I kid you not, all of a sudden, the music starts blasting, like subwoofers on a pirate ship, and it goes, shots, 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 and Whit and I are like, huh? Like, I don't remember Jack Sparrow getting lit to this music. I'm thinking like, and it like, this is not what I'm expecting. No joke. The next part, we have like 5 pirates sprinting out of the hole, and they have bottles of tequila. And when I say bottles of tequila, I mean they had bottles that weren't labeled, and I only knew it was tequila because of after the fact. This is what happens. So we got myself. We got Whit. And all they say is, open your mouth. Then we got Pirate with, with a bottle. This is a bottle, I promise.
Looks like a dagger.
Yeah, it does look like a knife. And he says, open your mouth. And no joke, while they are blaring this music, they are running down a line of all of us. There's 15 of us all sitting, and they are, no joke, just spraying tequila in our face. Just like, no joke, just down the line. And I'm like, okay. This started with my wife taking random drugs from a stranger, and now I can't even judge her because I just got random fluid sprayed in my face from the same stranger. And no joke, I'm like in like kind of nicer attire. I've got like a button down, some nice slacks. Boy, was I dressed wrong for this occasion because I just got a full bottle of tequila sprayed in my face. This guy's like open my mouth as if like open my mouth's gonna change the fact that he just absolutely obliterated both of our faces with tequila. And then, like Whit says in the chat, a second one comes down with a napkin and just sideswipes us. Just pat, 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 pat. Just like smacks me in the face with a napkin. Down the line. Literally just like, all right, you're clean, you're clean, you're clean, you're clean, you're clean, you're clean. He's not even switching napkins in between. He just pat, 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 pat. And I'm like, you know, being Mexican, I know, you know, us Mexican people are very familial. Everyone's family. But I'm not family enough with these people to be sharing tequila napkins. Okay, that is how our night started and how COVID-19 also started. All right, so this is how our night starts, and we realize this is not going to be a normal pirate ship dinner. Also, the funny part is then Whit and I flash back to the rednecks telling us that they were scared for their life because the pirates were really real. Nothing screams Alabama racism more than these people being scared of this pirate ship. It wasn't because they are real pirates. No matter what these people try to say to me, they are not scared of the pirates because they're pirates. They're scared of the pirates because they're brown. Let me just put that out there right now so there's no confusion. These people from Alabama are just racist. I'm not saying all people from Alabama are racist. I'm saying this particular couple from Alabama was racist. And meanwhile, I'm like, okay, like, this, nothing expectations could prepare me for what is happening on this boat. So, you know, they blast some other clubbing music, having a fun time, and they proceed to serve drink after drink after drink after drink, which, when you are a performer, the best thing you can do is get your audience sloshed, because no matter how bad the performance is, we don't know the difference. I can't even see straight. You think I'm gonna know that, like, this guy's a bad actor or that the sword fight wasn't realistic? No. This is 5-head plays from the entertainment industry. Just give them all free drinks, spray tequila in their face so one, their eyes burn and they can't see, and two, if they can see, they're too drunk to realize what's happening. And you can't go wrong with your performance. So they proceed to, you know, engage in some fun banter. They have some jokes. They make fun of us. They're serving drinks out the wazoo. Then they say, it is time for games. And I'm thinking to myself, I love games. Like, games are great. There's some nice friendly competition with the locals. Some nice friendly competition with these other tourists. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, game time. And so my wife and I are like, okay, cool, we'll participate. Let me tell you about this game. There is not a more awkward game you can play in front of strangers than this game my wife and I are about to tell you about. So we got the, this is an overhead view of the boat. And they start out explaining the rules. We got another couple over here. And the way it starts, they say, okay, like, this is just a friendly game of popping the balloon. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. Like, I've played this when I was 5 years old. You just run up, you squeeze them, and you pop the balloon. But then they add the disclaimer of the next rule that really threw us for a loop. They say, you three couples are going to pop the balloon with different sex positions. Okay, my wife and I have been married for 3 days, and now you want me to use sex positions to pop balloons in front of a bunch of strangers? Sign me up. And so, it is time for competition. My wife and I proceed to pop these balloons better than anyone else. We are lightning in the sex position balloon popping game. We cannot be stopped. We are done, and they all got like 3 balloons left. And now, I will spare you all the fact that I will not draw out the game. I will leave the drawing like this because then I will probably get banned on Twitch and YouTube. But just know that's the game that was played. My wife and I destroyed the competition, and we have a very happy marriage. So, that is game time. That is Minute to Win It, and we were graced with a beautiful, beautiful, realistic pirate bandana. So, that is games time. And then it's time for them to have a nice show. And by show, they started to sword fight. And remember I told you that, like, it doesn't matter how bad of a performer you are as long as you get your audience drunk? This is where it came into play. Because they're literally just, like, it could not be more stereotypical, like, you and your brother fighting with, like, lightsabers for the first time. And you're, like, trying not to hurt each other, but also, like, trying to hurt each other. This is literally what it was. And they're literally just like, sword, sword. Just over and over again, just clank, 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 clank. Not a lot of movement. Occasionally they switch places on the deck, but that's about it. And then, in the middle of these sword fights, they would just drop a one-liner. Just like some kind of derogatory joke about someone in the crowd. So they're literally sword fighting and then would stop to make fun of someone. Then they'd go back to sword fighting and then stop to make fun of another person. All while the people in the back are just throwing tequila on everyone. They're still bringing us drinks. They're still like, oh, you're not done? You're only halfway done? Oh, perfect. Here's another cup so your other hand isn't empty. Like, ridiculous. I was like, they know their brand. And then at the very end, they collected tips. So it's even more of like a they know their brand. Because like, hey, if they're sloshed, they're going to tip us even better because they're going to think the performance is awesome. I was onto them. I knew the performance was not very good. But my gosh, was the food exceptional. And chat, the time of the evening when I was waiting for was this food. After the sword fighting and roasting is done, they brought out steak and lobster. And not just any steak and lobster. This was top tier steak and lobster. This went from like a 1-star buffet at Hometown Buffet to like 5-star. I'm sitting somewhere in Vegas at one of those bougie buffets. Like, it was night and day from like getting sprayed in the face tequila to like, wow, this is like an exceptional meal. And so then my wife were fed steak and lobster by pirates on a boat, and it was great. And then while they're feeding us, they continue to roast us. So, fun times. Fun times. But anyways, chat, that is a story of Mexican pirates and drugs. And don't worry, chat, I have educated her more on the naivety of her behavior sometimes. And we're learning, making strides. I would hope that from this experience, she has learned that maybe she should think twice before grabbing pills from a stranger's pocket and just throwing them back. I would hope. But maybe because it didn't have like a bad experience, that this just encouraged her that it's okay to take drugs from people. And so it might have a reverse effect. I'm still not there yet. We haven't provided another opportunity to see how she reacts to drugs being offered to her. But when we find out, I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have not already, go ahead and hit the subscription button right down over here. And if you missed last week's video, that'll be right over here for you. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next time.